Bad things happen. From my mother's accident that left her as a quadriplegic, to Phil getting T-boned and it hurting his back, and now I have the COVID. That bad things are happening all the time, aren't they? Do you know that's why they have chaplains in the military, in the police force, also NFL? Our leaders understand that our religious beliefs is what gives you and I the resiliency to bounce back when the bad things happen. My chaplain husband, he describes religious belief as fourfold. Number one, he describes it as one's belief about human origin and the spirituality of man. Number two, who or what dictates how you act or interact with others. Three, what you consider sacred or set apart or an abomination. And then number four, what you believe about the afterlife and the ability to communicate with it. As Christians, we base our religious belief on the teachings of the Bible, and the Bible says that Jesus is our rock and the church. That means that when the bad things happen, He will be that solid ground and that firm foundation that will help us get through, give us the resiliency we need in life. When I was younger and I was faced with a bad thing, I would focus on the bad thing and I would become overwhelmed and filled with anxiety and self-pity and worry and doubt. But now that I'm older, I realize that God has gotten me through and He can get me through this. So now I've learned to reflect upon the promises that are in the Bible, to gather support from fellow Christians, and also to listen for that still small voice of the Lord that will lead me through the bad things. There's a wonderful promise in the Bible. Speaking of Bible promises, Psalm 37, which is an awesome psalm. The entire psalm is awesome. But verses 23 and 24, a righteous man's steps are established by the Lord, and he takes pleasure in his ways. Though he falls, he will not be overwhelmed, because the Lord holds his hand. And when it says our steps are established by the Lord, that doesn't mean that the Lord leads us to the bad things. What it does mean is that God will carry us through them. Think about our little grandson, great-grandson, Luke Henry. You know, he pukes on us, he craps on us, but he gives us great delight. When he stumbles and falls, we're going to pick him up and lead him through. That's the way God has a love for you, just as we love our little Luke Henry. So when the bads happened to me in the past, like Mother's accident as a quadriplegic, yes, she was left a quadriplegic, but it brought the entire family together, and we just grew closer as a family. It also was used by God to call Phil and I into full-time Christian ministry. Another thing about it was that Mom was never left alone again, because she hated being alone once Dad had passed away. Let me know how God has used your bad times and brought good out of it, and also how He guided you through.